Welcome back. This video is number 1 in a series of short videos on replacements for your traditional backpacking food. So every once in a while I'll get a question in the comments like, what can I bring to replace milk? And so I figured I would do 5 or 6 videos answering those sort of questions. The first one that I would like to tackle today is, what can you bring to replace milk? And I've gone through a bunch of different things. I've tried to use powdered soy milk, which doesn't taste good at all. But if you're putting a couple tablespoons into a recipe, it does add the nutrition. But so far as taste, I don't think it really adds anything. It almost takes away, so you kind of have to bury the flavor with something else. So what I ended up shifting to was coconut milk powder. And there are a bunch of different brands for coconut milk powder, and if you want to go flat out plant-based vegan, you do have to check the ingredients. This one is from Native Forest. There is another brand that's popular, especially if you go shopping in a grocery store or Asian market, and that brand does have some regular milk product in it, which I never really realized it until some viewer pointed that out, and then I looked at the ingredients and sure enough it was buried in there. The coconut milk powder, I am not a huge fan of coconut. Like, if you are someone who the only coconut you've ever really had was that like shredded coconut that you use for baking, I think that stuff is disgusting. I've never liked it my entire life. But this does add a neat little flavor to whatever you are eating. The other thing that I have tried instead of the coconut milk powder is adding some flavored protein powder. Now, I'm not adding the protein powder necessarily for the protein, but it does give it that milky flavor. And if you're looking for, to add that little chocolate flavor or vanilla, getting yourself a good quality protein powder, yes, you do get the protein, but also it is that substitute for that, add a little thickness to whatever the liquid is if you're doing like oatmeal, and to kind of give it that milky flavor. It's not exactly going to taste like if you poured in a thing of milk, but it is a good substitute that I've used more than once. The nutrition for this, if you wanted to compare it against some other things, like for example, I know that if you kind of like bounce around backpacking channels and websites, you're going to see a lot of people recommending, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Nido, Nido, and through the magic of editing, I'll put a picture right here. If you start looking at the nutrition between them, what you're going to find is that, they're somewhat different. Now, they weigh a different amount, so this is a little weird way of kind of comparing them. I'm not going to do it gram for gram, because the reality is most people are not weighing out their ingredients when they put them in there. They're just kind of measuring them out roughly or just pouring them in. So I'm going to use a more standard of 1 tablespoon versus 1 tablespoon. So if you look at 1 tablespoon of Nido versus soy milk and coconut milk, you can see that there are more calories in the coconut milk, there is more fat, there's going to be a little less carbs, there's really no protein in it. The other thing that you are going to notice is that with the soy milk, now that's only for 1 tablespoon, but the soy milk is going to have, that complete protein, and if obviously you're probably going to use more than 1 tablespoon. So if you are looking for, just flat out needing to get protein into your diet for a weekend, then you can throw in more soy milk. But otherwise, if you're getting protein from other sources, the coconut milk is a great alternative to the soy milk, great alternative to Nido, great alternative to that other, whatever it is, dehydrated powdered milk that you buy in a little package. So, highly recommend it. I think once you start using it, you will find that you will be throwing it into lots of different recipes, whether it's something you eat in the morning, and even dinner time. Pretty much almost anything that I eat at dinner time, I could throw a little bit of this into it, and it makes it taste a little bit better, throws in some extra calories, and just gives it that funky little different flavor, that little bit of coconut flavor. So that's it. So that is video number 1. I'm going to put a link if you happen to be watching this video like, what is it even today? I don't know, it's January 2020. If you happen to be watching this video for the first one, I will put a link in the description that will have all of the alternative videos in it. So just look in the description, click on it, and you'll see all the other ones. Thanks.